Life doesn't ask for your permission when it decides to test you. It doesn't knock gently before it breaks your heart, drains your energy, or flips your entire world upside down. It just shows up, uninvited, unannounced, and demands an answer. How strong are you really? And in those moments, it's not your resume, your degrees, or your bank account that speaks for you. It's your spirit, it's your mindset, it's the inner strength you've trained or failed to train when no one was watching. So if you're here today thinking you have to wait for life to get easier, you're already losing. But if you're ready to learn how to become the kind of person who rises no matter the storm, then this is for you. This isn't just a speech, this is a shift, a decision, a turning point, because I'm about to give you the tools, the mindset, the habits, the power to stay strong in any situation. Stay with me, because by the time we're done, you won't just feel stronger, you'll be unshakable. Let me tell you something most people never realize. The battle is never out there. It's always in here. It's in the mind. The external world throws chaos, pressure, setbacks, heartbreak, rejection, failure. But those things don't break you. What breaks you is the meaning you give them, what you say to yourself about what's happening. That's the difference between people who crumble under pressure and people who rise up. You want to stay strong in any situation, you've got to own your mind. Not borrow strength, not fake positivity. You have to become the master of your internal world. Because the truth is, most people are living in a prison they built themselves. And the bars, they're made of words. But stories are not good enough. It's too late. This always happens to me. Those patterns are destroying more potential than failure ever could. But here's what I want you to understand right now. Your thoughts are not facts. Just because you feel something doesn't mean it's the truth. Just because you've been telling yourself a story for 10 years doesn't mean you have to keep living inside it. You can change that story today. You can rewrite the script, because your mind is like software. You either program it or you get programmed by default. I've seen people go through unthinkable trauma and come out stronger. I've seen people lose everything: family, finances, health, and still rebuild, not because they had perfect circumstances, but because they refused to let their thoughts be dictated by fear. They chose to use pain as fuel. They made a decision to not just go through it, but to grow through it. And that decision starts with awareness. Catch yourself. Interrupt the pattern. The moment your brain starts spiraling with fear, with doubt, with stories that make you feel powerless, interrupt it. Physically change your body if you have to. Snap your fingers, clap, shout something, move, do anything that changes your state in that moment. Why? Because the longer you stay in that negative state, the deeper the roots grow. And the harder it is to pull them out. Then replace the thought. Don't just stop the negative loop, install something better. Instead of, I can't handle this, say, I was built for this. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? That shift is everything. That shift is strength. Look, the mind is a survival machine. Its job is not make you happy. It's to keep you safe. So if you don't take conscious control, it will always default to fear. It will always focus on what could go wrong, what you're not, what you've lost. But strength doesn't come from focusing on safety. It comes from stepping into certainty, the kind of certainty you create by mastering your focus. Every single day, you need to feed your mind the same way you feed your body. You don't eat once and expect to stay full, right? It's the same with mental strength. You've got to feed it daily with truth, with belief, with vision. Read, journal, reflect. Surround yourself with people who speak life into you. Watch what you consume, because everything you take in consciously or unconsciously is shaping the way you think and therefore shaping the way you live. And here's the key. You don't wait for the storm to start training your mind. You train it now. You decide now what kind of thoughts you allow to live rent-free in your head. Because when the pressure hits, and it will, it's too late to build the foundation. You don't rise to the level of your potential, you fall to the level of your preparation. And preparation starts with pattern recognition, pattern interruption, pattern replacement. So if you want to stay strong in any situation, start here. Start inside. Make it your mission to own your mind every single day. Because once you control the way you think, there is no circumstance, no person, no failure, no setback that can control the way you live. This is where your real strength begins. Let's talk about something that most people completely overlook when it comes to staying strong. Your state, your emotional state. Because, listen, I don't care how smart you are, how much experience you've got, how good your strategy is. If you're in a disempowered state, you're going to make weak decisions, you're going to show up small, you're going to react instead of lead. Strength isn't just a mindset, it's a state of being. And your state is something you can change in an instant if you understand how it works. Think about it. There are moments where you know what to do. You got the answers. You've done the work. But in that moment, you're tired, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, and suddenly you forget all of it. You start hesitating, you start doubting. Why? Because your emotional state collapsed. It's not the situation that's stopping you. It's the state you're in when it shows up. So how do you shift it? You don't need a therapist. You don't need 10 hours of journaling. You don't need a week of silence on a mountaintop. You need to move. You need to understand that motion creates emotion. The quickest way to shift your feelings is to shift your physiology. Change your breathing, your posture, your movement, and you will change your state. Try this right now. Sit slumped over, head down, shallow breath. Think about how you feel in that moment. Low energy, right? Now stand up tall, shoulders back, deep breath in, eyes up. Do that for just 60 seconds. And your body will start producing a completely different chemistry. Why? Because your body is a signal system. It's constantly telling your brain what to feel based on how you move. You can either use that system consciously or let it run you unconsciously. And this is key when life gets hard. Because in those moments, your body is going to want to shut down. You're going to feel the weight. You're going to want to curl up and hide. But that's when you've got to interrupt the pattern. You've got to train your nervous system to rise when everything inside you wants to fold. You've got to build the muscle of emotional resilience by shifting your body into power, even when your circumstances scream defeat. I'll give you an example. You ever see someone go into a meeting or step on stage and you just feel their energy before they say a word? That's state. That's not luck. That's not personality. That's conditioning. They've trained themselves to step into certainty, into confidence, into leadership on command. And you can do the same. But it starts with deciding that you are not your emotions. You are the one who creates them. You want to feel more. Courage? Move like someone who's courageous. Want to feel more love? Open your body and breathe like someone who's loving. Want to feel unstoppable? Stand, speak, and move like someone who believes they are unstoppable. You don't wait for the emotion to come. You create it. You generate it. That's strength. That's power. Now, let's be real. It's not about pretending everything's okay. It's not about faking positivity or ignoring pain. It's about owning your state so that pain doesn't paralyze you, so that fear doesn't become your leader. You feel the emotion, yes, but you don't live there. You use it. You convert it. You take that nervous energy and you channel it into movement, into action, into purpose. When your state is strong, you think clearly. You communicate with impact. You make decisions from strength, not scarcity. And the beautiful thing, you have access to that state anytime you choose. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect motivation, the perfect environment. You can generate it now. It's already in you. You just have to unlock it. So here's the shift. Stop reacting to life from a place of fatigue, fear, or frustration, and start training your body, your breath, your presence to lead. Because when your emotional state is unshakable, Your circumstances don't stand a chance. That's how you show up strong, no matter what. Let's be real. One of the quickest ways to feel powerless is to try to control everything. And that's what most people are doing all day long, trying to control how other people act, what the economy does, how situations unfold, how fast success shows up, how others respond, how the world treats them. And it never works, because life doesn't give you control over all of that. Life gives you control over a few things. And if you focus on those, you get your power back. You want to stay strong in any situation? Stop obsessing over what you can't control. Shift your focus to what you can. Because where your focus goes, your energy flows. That's not just a nice quote, it's truth. Your focus is your fuel. If you focus on what's wrong, what's missing, what's broken, guess what? You feel overwhelmed. You feel stuck. You start shrinking. But if you shift your focus to what you can do, what you can own, you step into strength, you start building momentum. You become a force, not a victim. Every single day you're going to be faced with uncertainty. Maybe someone betrays you. Maybe a deal falls through. Maybe your plans get shattered. That's life. But your response, that's yours. Your attitude is yours. Your standards, your discipline, your ability to show up strong even when everything feels like it's falling apart, that's yours. The challenge is most people are addicted to control. They want guarantees. They want certainty from the outside world. But strength doesn't come from external certainty. It comes from internal clarity. From knowing I control everything, but I control me. I control how I show up. I control how I speak. I control whether I give in or rise up. And when you really get that, when you lock into that truth, you become dangerous to fear. Because nothing outside of you can stop the force that's been built inside of you. Let me tell you something. The people who suffer the most in life are not the ones with the hardest situations. They're the ones who keep resisting reality. Fighting what is, wishing it were different. You know what that creates? Misery. Resistance to reality is a losing game. But when you accept what is, not tolerate it, but accept it, you gain the power to move through it. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's strength. That's saying, I see what's happening. I don't love it, but I'm not going to waste energy fighting something I can't change. I'm going to use that energy to change what I can. You've got to be ruthless about this. Ruthless with your focus. Because whatever you focus on, you feed. If you focus on the fear, the problem gets bigger. If you focus on the opportunity, the solution gets clearer. The moment you shift from, why is this happening to me, to what can I do with this? You flip the whole game. You stop reacting, you start leading. And leadership starts with you. You don't lead others if you can't lead yourself. So lead your focus, lead your choices, lead your energy. Choose to take action even when it's hard. Choose to find meaning even in the mess. Choose to speak power when your mind wants to complain. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to feel confident. You just have to choose to move and keep moving. That's how you build resilience. You stop giving your energy to things that drain you. You stop trying to change people who don't want to grow. You stop hoping for life to be easy. And you start deciding that no matter what comes, you're going to rise. That's where true strength is built. Not in the ideal, but in the real. Not in the comfort zone, but in the chaos, where you learn how to stay grounded in what matters. So the next time life throws something unexpected at you, ask yourself, what part of this is in my control? And then go all in on that. Because that's where your power lives. Not in controlling the world, but in mastering your response to it. That's how you become unshakable. You want to know when your strength is really tested? It's not when everything's going your way. It's not when the path is clear and the plan is working and people are cheering you on. Your strength shows up or doesn't when everything hits the fan, when nothing's going according to plan, when the rug gets pulled out from under you. That's when life asks the real question. Who are you? And most people, they don't have an answer because they never decided in advance. They go into every situation hoping it'll go right, hoping they'll feel strong, hoping they'll rise to the occasion. But let me tell you something. When you're in the middle of the storm, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. You fall to the level of what you've decided you are when it's hard. That's why you've got to decide before the crisis who you are, before the loss, before the rejection, before the betrayal, before the pressure. You don't build strength in the middle of the fire, you reveal it. You build it before the fire, in the small, consistent choices, in the standards you set for yourself when no one's watching, in the voice you choose to listen to inside your own head. You've got to claim the identity of someone who's resilient, someone who's relentless, someone who doesn't just talk about strength, they live it. And that's not just a mental game, it's a commitment. You wake up every day and you say, this is who I am. Not based on how you feel, not based on what's happening, not based on what others say, based on what you've chosen. Think about it. A Navy SEAL doesn't wait until bullets are flying to decide if they're brave. A firefighter doesn't wait for the flames to ask if they're ready to run into the building. They train. They condition. But more than that, they've decided who they are. It's locked in. So when the moment comes, they don't hesitate. They act from identity. That's what you need. Not just hope, not hype, a clear, unshakable decision. This is who I am when it's hard. I'm the person who stands tall under pressure. I'm the person who stays calm in chaos. I'm the person who chooses growth when it would be easier to run. I'm the person who doesn't fold, who doesn't complain, who doesn't make excuses. That's me. Not because I feel like it, but because I've decided it's who I am. And here's the powerful thing about identity. It shapes your behavior automatically. Once you lock in who you are, your actions start lining up. You don't need to force it. It becomes natural. You face a challenge and your brain says, of course, we push through this. That's who we are. It becomes the default. But most people don't take the time to define their identity. They let the world do it for them. They let failure tell them who they are. They let past pain, other people's opinions, temporary emotions shape their permanent identity. That's like giving the keys to your life to a stranger. You've got to take them back. You've got to get intentional about who you are. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Remind yourself every single day because life's going to test you. And in that moment, if you don't know who you are, you'll hesitate, you'll doubt, you'll retreat. But if you've already decided, if it's already written in your soul, you'll respond with power. You'll respond with truth. That's what strength is. So it's not pretending to be perfect. It's not pretending you don't feel pain. It's having a core identity that's so strong, nothing can shake it. That when life gets loud, your inner voice gets louder. That when the storm hits, you don't panic, you remember. You remember who you are, you remember what you're made of, and you act from that. Because when your identity is unshakable, you become unshakable. And that changes everything.